Yaakov is emes, he's emet, he's truth. How could it be truth if the world is filled with so much lies? And how could it be truth if people are so convinced that their truth is the truth? What's the real truth? The Torah emes, Moshe emes, v'Torah emes. Right? The Torah is true. And it says that there's 70 faces of Torah. So which one's the true face? Does that mean there's only one good face and 69 fake faces? Chas v'Shalom. Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Live at the Time. So grateful to be here today. So grateful for all of you. And this is the first Aliyah of Vayetzei. Incredible stuff. I mean, what can I say? The Torah is action-packed. Yaakov starts off running away, and he ends up with his entire world, his entire family. Spoiler alert. And so there's so much to be covered in this whole parsha, right? From, like I said, him running away to getting married twice and having 2 extra wives, 4 wives total, and 11 out of the 12 children. And today we're starting off, obviously, with the first Aliyah. And this Aliyah is a very famous story. And we're not here to learn about stories, things that are cute, that we remember as kids. And yes, and I remember that story, and we grow up and it doesn't mean anything to us, right? What I'd like to do today is cover some ground, because there's so much to really talk about in this Aliyah. And it's impossible to go into everything in depth without making this a 2-3 hour shiur. What I'd like to do is cover a lot of the Midrashim, a lot of the deeper concepts, and then really tie it all together into what it means for us today, what it can mean for us and what it should mean for us. And before we get going, take a second to, first of all, thank Hashem, Yitbarach, and pray for the hostages from Israel. And taking a second there and hit the like button, share, and subscribe here. It really helps me out, helps us out over here. Got a lot of stuff going on over here, but I choose to do this because I enjoy this, and I enjoy doing this with all of you. So we're going to keep it going. So in any case, as I mentioned in last week's Parsha, right, it ends with Yitzchak giving Yaakov the blessing to go ahead and run away from Esav, and Esav creates a pact, so to speak, with Ishmael to hate Yaakov, to hate the Jewish people, to go against the Jewish people in all different ways. And now we jump into Vayetzei Yaakov Be'er-Sheva Vayelech Harana, that Yaakov left Beer-Sheva and set out for Haran. Now, one of the things here is that, as we mentioned, it wasn't just he left and now here he is all of a sudden. He stopped for 14 years. 14 years he stopped and learned under Shem and Ever. He knew that the spiritual journey was going to be difficult. The physical journey, all the things were going to be very difficult. And Yaakov was in between these 3, seems like eternal enemies of the Jewish people. Esav, Ishmael, and Lavan, heading towards Lavan, essential shyster, swindler, and we'll see how he deals with him. But on the way, he stops off with Shem and Ever. Why? Because Shem and Ever had a different Torah, not a different Torah per se than Yitzchak had, but they had a different way of looking at the world, where Yitzchak raised Yaakov in such a sweetness and just sweet way, and he was really, aside from the battles with his brother and these kind of things, was really insulated from a lot of the stuff going on. Darkness, the ups and downs of the world. And knowing that there was going to be so many ups and downs in the world, he had to go and learn under Shem and Ever, because Shem was the son of Noah. So he lived in the time of the flood. He saw what that was, and he saw how to survive an entire flood. And Ever was lived in the time of the Tower of Babel, and how the entire world created a rebellion against Hashem and needed to be dispersed. So what better way than to go to the guys who saw it with their own eyes, and to go and learn how to connect to Hashem in these kind of places, knowing that this was going to be what's going on. So when we talk about this story, it's not just Yaakov went and he learned and Shem and Ever, and then he came and the sun set, so he just decided to sleep. And then there's a ladder, and the ladder he saw, there are angels going up and down, and wow, what amazing. This is the portal of prayer. It's true. Right? Sulam has the numerical value of kol. Sulam, meaning ladder, has a numerical value of kol, meaning voice. So of course, right, we know that this is where the ladder comes and goes, where prayers go up and our prayers go down. Right, and I have a whole story about, the angels going up and down. Save it for another time. I have other stuff to cover. But then he wakes up and he says, wow, that's amazing. I'm going to come and give a tithe, come and give charity, if I can make it back. What's he really saying over here? All right, Rebbe Nachman says, here it's coming all the way from the Kutei Halachot, right, that he says, who is Yaakov? Yaakov is Tiferet. Yaakov is Emes. Yaakov is the person who is on the Kisei HaKavod, as we've been saying. This, where does the ladder go to the top? It goes to the Kisei HaKavod. And who's on the Kisei HaKavod? Yaakov Avinu's face. Right? He represents truth. He represents the harmony of being able to do what needs to be done in each time. Not being so fundamentalist that you can only do one thing and you disagree with everybody else who doesn't agree with you. And you only agree with this side and everybody else who doesn't agree is wrong. Right? He was able to move. It was necessary, but he was also faced with so many challenges. So many challenges. Yaakov Avinu, where Abraham, really, of course, he had his 10 challenges, and he had to leave his family, and we go down the list. We don't know Abraham without Sarah. We don't know him having to run away from things in the same kind of way. We saw him lech lecha, going towards his blessing, going towards himself, not necessarily running and feeling all the different feelings that humans feel so much. And Abraham was very well off. Obviously, Yitzchak, he dwelt there in the field in the tents. He was learning, and he never even left Eretz Yisrael. Of course, there's challenges. They had to go down, the famine. But Yaakov Avinu is the quintessential character of challenges, of barriers. You wonder why Breslow talks so much about overcoming challenges and barriers. Because we're human. To be human means that we're all facing challenges and barriers in one way or another. With Hashem's help, it should be that none of our challenges or barriers should have to do with health or Shalom bayis or any problems with our kids or fertility. And it should all be that it's just our character defects and our midot that we came to fix, and that this should be our main struggle. But people are struggling with all kinds of things, and they wonder, how are we going to struggle with this? How are we going to do? People also ask, why do we look up to these people? Why is it Yaakov? He's lying, and because Yaakov started off a certain place and he ended up in a certain place. This is human. They're not people that were just always perfect, or they show up and they're perfect. These are people that had their own issues, right? And so we see here, right, that already there's 14 years where he was studying, and it says that he didn't sleep that whole time. So for him to come and sleep here is significant, right? But what happens is, first, why Beersheba to Haran, right? Rebbe Nachman says that Beersheba means literally a well of 7, meaning he was on a high spiritual plane. He was on a place of amazingness, right? He had been there and learning Torah for 14 years and probably forgot about some of the stuff that had happened between him and his brother, and his emotions had subsided. And what happened? Immediately he had to go to Haran. Rabbi Nachman saying Haran is similar to Haron Af, meaning divine anger. signifying the obstacles he would be facing before attaining his goal. And still, Yaakov, he was determined. And so he landed there in Hamakom, the place. Came to Hamakom, the place. What's the place? The place is Hashem. Right? And it was said that both Rashi and the Gemara say that he went and he came back. That he passed the place and he had to come back and find it the right way. And this is so many times with us, right? That we go and we think that we have lost the train passed. Hashem's never leaving. He's waiting for us. And then what happens? The sun sets. Meaning, all of a sudden, right, as we said, that there's some sort of miracle happened and the sun just went down and set. He thought he was going to be having more sunlight. All of a sudden it set. What does this mean? It means that things were going well for him, and all of a sudden he got the rug pulled out from under him. His intellect was gone. His sight was gone. He didn't understand what was going. Like what happens to us so many times when we think, what happened here? Yesterday everything was so good. Now all of a sudden everything is I have no idea how I got here. Everything's a challenge. Everything's difficult. So many fires to put out. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong. And not only that, but I lost my emunah, chas v'shalom. I forgot how to daven, chas v'shalom. I'm so angry, or I'm so sad, I'm depressed. The sun had set, and Yaakov gathered these 12 stones, corresponding to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he set his head on it. And he dreamt of a ladder. And the ladder is ascending and ascending. Why ascending and ascending? Because in this world, we have to be good at running and returning, as Rebbe Nachman says. Have to be good when the pickings are good, when it's time to move up, when you see that the door is open, the light's on. It's like a shopping spree. I don't know if anybody remembers there were these TV shows, these game shows where there's like shopping sprees, right? Where they say, you got 90 seconds to go and grab everything from the store that you can and come back, right? And this is what you go. A smart person would go straight for the diamonds in the back. They'd have all these clothes and all this cheap stuff here in the front. Right? And the people who had watched the game before and knew how to play the game properly, they go all the way to the back and they got all the electronics and all the things, all the most expensive things, all the best things, and come here. And then there would be time when that's it, the clock's over, and you get all your stuff. Those diamonds are like the mitzvahs. The diamonds are like the mitzvahs. The electronics are like like mitzvahs, things that we're going to be able to use in the future. Right, but then the snacks, all the stuff in the front, the cheap stuff, right? This is what people can get distracted on in this world, right? But it's ascending and ascending, right? That these were also angels that were ascending and ascending. That there was 4 angels that went up, and there was these rungs that went all the way up to the ceiling, and it was down on the ground, up to the ceiling, up to a place where you couldn't see anymore. The first angel corresponded to the exile of Babylon. The second one corresponded to the exile of Persia. The third one corresponded to the exile of Greece. And the fourth one corresponding to the current exile that we're in, corresponding to the exile of Rome that we're still in. And it says that the third ones went up. The first 3 went up in accordance to the amount of years that it would take that they were in exile for. And the fourth one went up and never came back down. And this is when Yaakov got scared. He got scared knowing that, where is the end of this? Will it ever end? And Hashem said, I'm with you. Don't worry, I'm with you. No matter where you go, I'm with you. And no matter what you think is going on, your kids are going to see the end of this. They are going to see the end of this. They will be in a place, but first they will be as the dust of the earth. Meaning first they've got to be humble. And we talk about the ladder, the sulam. The sulam is a place where it looks like there's a separation. It looks like there's an earth, and it looks like there's an heaven, and it looks like there's a ladder. But really there is no earth, there is no heaven, and there is no ladder. There's only Hashem. These are all illusions. These are all things that are here that are meant to separate us. Right? That when the 4th angel never came back down, right? It says that the 4th angel, Rebbe Nachman says that this 4th angel, corresponding to Esau, specifically corresponding to Rome, that this 4th angel corresponding to Rome is corresponds to all of the lies and the deceit that this nation would put the Jewish people through to try and tear them away from God. And we see that this is still that same exile. So when we use that ladder, we have to realize and we have to use that ladder, that call, that voice, to say, Hashem, I know that it's all you. I know that it's all you. Every single obstacle that I'm seeing, every single up and down I'm seeing is you. Every single angel that I'm seeing is you. Every single exile that I'm seeing is you. Every single lie that they're trying to do to bring me away from you is you. It's all a test. You can't fool me. I believe it fully that even here in this place, that you create a constriction within yourself, to vacated space, a tzimtzum within yourself, to create this void where there could be such a thing as a me. And that people may say, there is no Hashem here, but I know that for sure you're here. You can't fool me. And we have to take a page out of Yaakov's book. What did it mean when he took the 12 stones and combined them into one? This means that first and foremost, took the 12 stones, meaning he took all the tribes, all the differences in the tribes, and he combined them into one, that we see the good points in every single person, every single Jew, every single person in general, but every single Jew in particular, and to combine everybody, know that we're all one. But he also had to take these incongruent teachings and to put them together. That Yaakov is emes, he's emet, he's truth. How could it be truth if the world is filled with so much lies? And how could it be truth if people are so convinced that their truth is the truth? What's the real truth? And the Torah says there's so many faces of Torah. And the Torah emes, Moshe emes, v'Torah emes. Right? The Torah is true. And it says that there's so many faces of Torah. So which one's the true face? Does that mean there's only one good face and 69 fake faces? Chas v'shalom. This means that we're able to combine all of the differences that we have and all the different teachings that we have, and to realize that Gam Vegam are the words of the living God. This and this are the words of the living God. And to know that for sure, that in these ways, that by seeing the good in people, and realizing that people may have differences from you, but they are also holy, they're also right. And I used to say that, one of my mottos was that, listen, we got three choices. Either I'm right and you're wrong, or you're wrong. I mean, either I'm right and you're wrong, or you're right and I'm wrong, or we're both wrong. All right, so there's actually 2/3 say that we're wrong. But actually, thinking there's a fourth one. It's that we're both right. Even though we're both wrong, we're both right. And this is the word that Hashem created. And if all else fails, what did Yaakov, what did he pledge to do? He pledged to bring charity. That when all else fails, when all the praying in the world is not working, when all the finding the good in the people are not working, when all the combining all the different ideologies and trying to find the truth in everything is not working, when all the simchas, all the gratitude, Baruch Hashem, that never stops working. Hashem that it should ever. Hashem that it should ever. But let's just say we're at a place where the last resort is to go and give charity. To go and give charity, to go and give abundant charity. The salvation lies in charity. Salvation lies in giving to others, to humbling ourselves, to being the dust of the earth. And in this way, we're going to see that the illusion of the ladder is broken, that there is no separation between Shemaim and earth, that Hashem is everywhere. We're going to see that our prayer works, that everything's going. We're seeing the salvation of that place of Mount Moriah that is no longer remembered so much as the place where Yitzchak Avinu was brought on the Akedah. No longer remembered necessarily as a place where Yaakov Avinu came and slept and saw the Sulam, the angels going up and down, and knowing this is a place of prayer. And not only the place of the first base of Mikdash, not only remembered as the place of the second base of Mikdash, but remembered and experienced with our own eyes, with our own mentality, with our own consciousness, to be there, to have all the different illusions stripped away, and to be there in the third base of Mikdash, celebrating all is one, in that amazingly holy place with the Kol Moshiach Tzidkenu, speedily, L'chaim.